Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This time, we're looking into something I know a lot of you have been exploring, faith-based education, and specifically Heart Bible International University.
Yeah, we're going to be kind of pulling back the curtain on HBIU.
We dove deep into their program overview, and to be honest, it's a lot more than we were expecting.
Yeah, their program variety really stood out to me as well.
Like way more diverse than you'd think for a typical faith-based university, right?
Yeah, it's not just your typical seminary subjects.
I mean, okay, first things first, the sheer variety of programs at HBIU, it's mind-blowing.
yeah.
It's like a university and a vocational school had a baby.
Right.
You've got from theology to IT support to music production.
This seems to reflect HBIU's goal of equipping students not just for ministry, but
Mhm.
also broader societal impact.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some really interesting combos here. Like, imagine graduating with a degree in Christian psychology and emergency management
Wow.
or chaplaincy and music production.
Hmm.
What kind of career paths even open up with that?
That's a great question. It suggests HBIU is trying to bridge a gap
Yeah.
between traditional faith-based education
Uh-huh.
and practical skills relevant to today's world.
Okay, so we've got this crazy variety of subjects, but they also have all the degree levels.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got your associate, bachelor's, master's, even doctorates. So whether you're just starting out
Right.
or looking for advanced study, HBIU has you covered.
For sure.
And here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about training pastors.
Hmm.
They're tackling some serious real-world issues.
Yeah, they're focused on things like humanitarianism and conflict response social work, even addiction counseling.
Uh-huh.
Shows a commitment to addressing some pretty complex social challenges.
It feels like kind of a shift,
Yeah,
in how faith-based institutions engage with the world.
absolutely. So to understand this further,
Yeah.
let's delve into the mission and vision of HBIU.
All right, so their mission statement is all about transformative learning. It's not just about getting information, but developing skills like problem-solving, leadership communication,
Right.
and all grounded in faith-based principles.
And their vision statement connects this learning to practical outcomes,
Okay.
highlighting the importance of meaningful employment for graduates,
Gotcha.
both locally and online.
So it's not just about personal growth,
Right.
but empowering graduates to apply their skills in the real world.
Exactly.
And all of this is supported by a pretty comprehensive set of core values.
Yeah, definitely.
They list things like commitment impact, collaboration, creativity,
Right.
empathy and compassion, inclusion, integrity, and sustainability.
It's a pretty impressive list.
But the question is, do they actually walk the walk?
Yeah. Do these values actually show up in their programs and initiatives?
That's what we're going to find out.
Yes.
Let's take a closer look at how these values are put into action.
Sounds good. Let's start with the value of impact, which we've already seen with their focus on real-world issues.
Yeah.
But their commitment to humanitarianism extends even further.
Oh, really? How so?
You mentioned their doctorate in humanitarian studies and conflict response earlier, and
Yeah.
that's not something you see at every university.
No, not at all.
And a doctorate generally involves in-depth study and also original research.
Yeah.
So it suggests they're not just training students, but actively trying to advance solutions in those areas.
Wow, that's impressive.
And it doesn't stop there. They mention serving students in Africa, too.
I remember seeing that.
And that, combined with having an international phone number, suggests they really have a global mindset.
So they're not just serving a local population, but looking at a more diverse student body,
Exactly.
which makes me think about the challenges of serving students from such different backgrounds.
Oh, definitely. I mean, a truly inclusive environment requires more than just accepting everyone.
Right.
It takes an understanding of cultural differences and learning styles and being willing to adapt.
That's a good point. It'll be interesting to see how they handle those challenges as they grow.
Absolutely. And speaking of reaching different backgrounds, affordability is a big factor.
Huge. And they highlight affordable education as one of their offerings.
Right. Education costs are a huge barrier for so many people.
For sure.
So HBIU's focus on affordability is crucial to making education accessible.
So they're living out that value of inclusion in a real way.
Yeah, they're trying to give opportunities to students who might not otherwise have access.
They also mentioned having skilled lecturers and library resources.
Right. It sounds like they're trying to offer a well-rounded experience even while being affordable.
And they have campuses in both Connecticut and Florida.
Right. So that offers some flexibility for students who prefer in-person learning.
And online programs for those who can't relocate or need a flexible schedule.
It seems like they're really trying to accommodate different learning styles and needs.
It all comes back to those core values,
Yeah, they're not just talking about these ideals, they're actually putting them into practice.
It's refreshing to see a university so intentional about aligning their actions with their values.
And it goes beyond just their internal culture.
How so?
They're also focused on equipping students to apply those values out in the world.
Right, making a positive impact on their communities and beyond.
Exactly. It's evident in their focus on practical skills, career prep, and tackling real-world problems.
So they're preparing students to be active and engaged citizens.
It's a more holistic approach to education.
Not just about the individual, but their role in society.
Exactly. It's about empowering them to be agents of positive change.
Using their education and their faith to make a difference.
Right.
So all in all, it's safe to say HBIU is challenging how we think about faith-based education.
It's not your typical seminary. They're offering a diverse range of programs,
Right.
blending faith with practical skills and preparing grads to face the world's challenges.
We've covered a lot today, but we want to hear what stood out to you about HBIU.
What are your initial impressions of their approach?
Yeah, what resonates with you? They're really pushing the boundaries, of what faith-based education can even be.
Yeah, they're not afraid to break the mold.
It's not just about separating faith and practicality anymore.
Right. They're showing that faith can actually drive positive change in all areas of life.
Like, it can be a force for good,
Yeah.
whether you're talking about social work or humanitarian aid.
Or even tech or the arts.
It's all there in their programs. We talked about Christian psychology,
Right.
emergency management, music production, even IT support.
It's a pretty unique mix.
Definitely not what you'd typically expect at a faith-based university.
It shows how committed they are to equipping students for all sorts of vocations.
Yeah.
Not just traditional ministry, but bringing those faith-informed perspectives to any field.
And it's not just about handing them a degree and saying good luck,
No, they're really focused on preparing them for careers.
like providing resources and guidance.
Right. Their vision statement even mentions making sure grads have access to good job opportunities.
Locally and online.
Exactly. They know a degree is only valuable if it leads to real opportunities.
And they're doing all of this while still staying true to those core values.
Absolutely.
We talked about impact and inclusion, but there's also collaboration and creativity.
Yeah, those values are woven into everything they do.
They want students to work together to come up with new ways to solve problems.
And to always be thinking about ethical and sustainable solutions.
It's almost like they're trying to create this ripple effect, where grads don't just find fulfilling careers, but actually help build a better world.
I think that's a great way to put it. They're not just focused on individual success, but on making a positive impact.
It's a pretty inspiring vision for the future of faith-based education.
It definitely is. They're showing that faith isn't about retreating from the world, but about engaging with it and working to make things better.
HBIU is definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to challenge assumptions.
Right.
They're pushing boundaries and showing the world that faith-based education can be relevant.
And dynamic and really engaged with what's happening in the world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with some food for thought.
Yeah, take some time to think about what really stood out to you about HBIU.
What parts resonated with you and why?
What do you think about this idea of combining faith and practicality?
Do their values align with your own?
We'd love to hear your thoughts and keep this conversation going, so come find us on social media.
Keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep diving.